It's been a few years, but the wizarding world finally has a new hero and a new franchise to fall in love with. The first edition to the Fantastic Beasts spin-off series is now in cinemas, delighting fans and critics in equal measure and opening the door to lots of future possibilities, including the forthcoming global wizarding war, pitting Albus Dumbledore against his terrifying enemy, Gellert Grindelwald. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I'm Ben from What Culture, and here are 28 Fantastic Beasts and where to find them Easter eggs and references you must see. Number 28. Hedwig's Song. After the trailers heavily relied on the Harry Potter brand to sell the idea of Fantastic Beasts in a comfortable, familiar way, it shouldn't come as any surprise that the film opens with the famous Potter fanfare. The song, called Hedwig's Song, plays over the Warner Brothers logo before the Fantastic Beasts theme replaces it. Number 27. Gellert Grindelwald. The film opens with an ominous shot of several wizards being evaporated away into nothing, and the reveal of the back of a head. We're then quickly shown a montage of newspaper clippings setting the scene, that Gellert Grindelwald is active in Europe, wiping out his enemies and setting the wizarding world into a panic. Incidentally, given the timing here, it's clear that the devastating magic he wields is thanks to the Elder Wand being in his possession. Number 26. The Bronx Ginger Witch. If you pay close attention during the opening, you'll see mentions of some recognizable names and creatures, including one headline that reads, The Bronx Ginger Witch, which is an oddly random thing to appear among stories dedicated to Grindelwald. But it could well be a nod to New York's most famous real-life witch. Lady Rhea is the flame-haired patron of the Bronx Botanica, and is an important figure in white witchcraft in the Bronx. Number 25. The Importance of 1926. The film opens in 1926, right in the middle of the bustling Flapper period, which is an important year in the Harry Potter universe. This was, of course, the year that Tom Marvolo Riddle was born. Obviously, it's important that we all immediately draw the parallel between the two dark wizards who would go on to define the two biggest wizarding world wars. Number 24. The Second Salemers. Mary Lou Barebone, possibly the greatest and silliest name in the entire franchise, is introduced early to the film, leading a protest against magical activity under the banner of her militant group, the Second Salemers. The group, otherwise known as the New Salem Philanthropic Society, are a pious, fanatical, no-mage society seeking to expose and destroy wizards and witches. Interestingly, the first shot of the interior of Mary Lou's house seems to show that her doors feature a particularly Wiccan-looking symbol on their back, foreshadowing that one of the characters is not who they seem to be. Number 23. You seem like a seeker. When Newt Scamander comes face to face with Mary Lou Barebone, she challenges him on why he has joined their meeting. He was drawn there accidentally and says he was just passing, only for her to say he looks like a seeker, as in someone seeking the truth. He's a little taken aback and proclaims that he thinks he's more of a chaser. Quidditch joke. Number 22. Hufflepuff Pride. In a change to the canon, Fantastic Beasts establishes that Newt Scamander was actually expelled from Hogwarts rather than graduating, as he originally did. Despite being thrown out of the school, which he claims ardently was down to an accident rather than anything malicious, it's clear he still has some pride in his time there. An old Hufflepuff scarf can be seen in his suitcase at the start of the film when the customs official checks it. Number 21. The Niffler's third appearance. The little magpie-like thieving creature Niffler is one of the standout characters in the entire film, thanks to Bags of Mischievous charm, but this is actually the third appearance of the creature in the Harry Potter franchise. In Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Hagrid brings some in for Care of Magical Creatures class because he's hugely irresponsible. And later in the Order of the Phoenix, Lee Jordan sneaks a Niffler into Umbridge's office to try and annoy her as much as possible. Number 20. Newt's Hagrid link. It seems that J.K. Rowling turned to her own work for inspiration in establishing Newt Scamander's new backstory. The story that Scamander accidentally endangered lives at Hogwarts by bringing in a dangerous magical beast and presumably accidentally letting it loose is pretty much the exact same story used to explain Hagrid's expulsion from the school. You'd think that after one incident they'd have tightened security ahead of Hagrid being able to get a terrifying f***ing spider into Hogwarts. Number 19. Percival Graves. It may be an accident, but Colin Farrell's character Percival Graves shares an important link with a former Harry Potter actor. The name matches that of the villain from John Goodman's comedy King Ralph, as played by Potter alum John Hurt. As a further link, his name should probably have given his game away to fans of King Ralph, since both Percival Graves are seeking to bring down the establishment and install themselves as leaders, despite appearing to be morally good. Number 18. The Goldstein name. For eagle-eyed Potter fans, Tina and Queenie Goldstein's surname should have rung some bells, as they're, of course, distant relatives of one of Harry's fellow Hogwarts students, Anthony Goldstein, a Ravenclaw who was part of DA and a prefect who fought alongside Harry and survived the Battle of Hogwarts during the Second Wizarding War. Number 17. The Ministry Paperwork. Back in the Harry Potter series, when Harry visits the Ministry for the first time, he discovers that the Ministry uses enchanted interdepartmental memos in the form of paper planes. In America, the Magical Congress of the United States of America uses their own stateside equivalent, enchanted paper mice. Presumably, the fact that the mice fight and shred each other when they come into contact is why the Ministry in the UK used to use owls before upgrading to paper planes to avoid droppings mess. Number 16. Caruso. At one point, the background of Fantastic Beasts mentions the name Caruso, which is doubly significant. Firstly, it refers back to Luca Macaulay Caruso, a former member of Dumbledore's army who pops up a couple of times in the book. Perhaps this is where his family came from. And more significantly, the name of the character and the sign in Fantastic Beasts is a tribute to Luca Caruso, the son of Miraphora Mina, a graphic artist who worked on all 8 Harry Potter films. Number 15. Occamy eggs. One of the first Fantastic Beasts we meet in the film is the Occamy, a magical beast that hatches from silver eggs and can grow to fill any available space. But this isn't the first time Occamy eggs have been involved in the canon. They're mentioned in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and on Pottermore, J.K. Rowling revealed that Gilderoy Lockhart once aspired to release a line of hair products thanks to his luxurious hair. One of the ingredients in that special shampoo was Occamy egg yolk. That monster. Number 14. Erumpent Horn. The Erumpent that Newt and Kowalski are forced to track down and capture in the zoo using the medium of sex dancing has previous history with the Harry Potter films. An Erumpent Horn is housed in Xenophilius Lovegood's home, and is the instrument that Harry, Ron, and Hermione effectively use to escape when the notoriously volatile material blows up. It looks nothing like how the Erumpent looks in Fantastic Beasts, but it's nice that the whole volatile horn thing is used again for the gag that the creature is both volatile and horny. Number 13. The Greater Good. At one point, Grindelwald gives away his own game while he's in disguise as Graves when he accuses Newt Scamander and his associates of doing precisely what he himself is looking to do, i.e. pulling down the curtain of deceit between no-mags and wizards. Even more specifically, Graves uses a line suggesting that Scamander is willing to kill a few thousand for the greater good, which is a direct reference back to what would become Grindelwald's slogan, which Dumbledore actually coined for him. Number 12. The Dumbledore Reference. As revealed in the trailers when Newt Scamander is arrested at the Magical Congress and Graves takes him in for questioning before horribly passing down the worst possible sentence, his file reveals that when he was expelled from Hogwarts, a young teacher vouched for him. That teacher? Albus Dumbledore, who has clearly always had a thing for collecting promising broken toy characters. It's a nice callback to him, and also a tease to Graves' real appearance. Maybe he reacts so badly to him immediately because his great enemy once liked him. Number 11. The Deathly Hallows. As if he wasn't content with teasing that he's actually Grindelwald, Graves also hands over a Deathly Hallows pendant necklace to Credence Barebone to help strengthen his will to help him find the Obscurial. This necklace is the same one worn by Xenophilius Lovegood in the Deathly Hallows Part 1, when Harry, Ron, and Hermione go to visit. Number 10. Newt's Dragon. When he's asked what he did during the Great War by Kowalski, Newt said he was working on the Eastern Front with dragons. Does that mean he was fighting in some secret war campaign? If so, that needs to be a film immediately. Anyway, the specific dragon that he mentions is the Ukrainian Ironbelly, an important breed in Harry Potter lore. It's this creature that guards the bowels of Gringotts and the Lestrange Vault in the Deathly Hallows. Number 9. Frank the Thunderbird. Thunderbirds are mythological creatures with lizard-like features, whose apparent real-world first sighting was in Arizona, hence Newt's attempt to return Frank home. His look is also purposefully based somewhat on Fawkes' appearance in the Harry Potter films. Incidentally, the Thunderbird is not included in the Fantastic Beasts book, so presumably Scamander decided to keep it secret to try and preserve the species. Or, it's just a prequel changing canon again. Number 8. The Grindylow. When Kowalski is walking around Newt's enchanted suitcase, discovering all the Fantastic Beasts in his collection, he comes across a section with creatures living in small self-contained bubbles of water and a large underwater tank. Eagle-eyed fans of the series will be able to spot a Grindylow, the creature that attacks Harry when all looks lost during the water trial in the Triwizard Tournament. Number 7. The Hogwarts Joke. As well as the throwaway mention of Dumbledore, it wouldn't have been right for Hogwarts to be left out entirely. Obviously there's mention that Newt was expelled, but later when Tina brings up Ilvermorny being the greatest magical school in the world, Newt takes offense and says that the title belongs to Hogwarts. As an indication that there is a rivalry between the two schools, Tina's response is a barbed hogwash. I suppose you could call it a shit school for witches and wizards for wankers. Hashtag shit school for witches and wizards for wankers. Ugh. Number 6. No bigger than a bowtruckle. Obviously Niffler is the real Fantastic Beasts MVP, but he's pushed hard by Pickett the bowtruckle, the stick insect-like creature who helps Newt Scamander escape from the execution room at Magical Congress. His appearance actually adds to a famous line from an earlier Harry Potter film, when Hagrid refers to carrying Harry to Privet Drive when he was no bigger than a bowtruckle. Obviously Harry was not that small, but it's clearly an affectionate phrase. Number 5. Merlin's beard. As established in the Harry Potter films, Merlin's beard is basically the Wizarding World's version of a dirty swear. The exclamation was used by Amos Diggory when he first meets Harry in the Goblet of Fire, and also by Horace Slughorn when he is discovered by Dumbledore at the start of the Half-Blood Prince, hiding disguised as a chair. To keep up the phrase's popular use, Newt uses it in Fantastic Beasts as well. Number 4. Billywig. The creatures that escape from Newt's suitcase include a little blue creature. This is a billywig, the winged insect that is native to Australia, and we've heard of them before. In another link to the Lovegood family, it's revealed in the Deathly Hallows that Xenophilius Lovegood created his own version of Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem using dirigible plums, Raxpert siphons, and billywig wings. Number 3. Leader Lestrange. After Newt invites Tina and Queenie into his suitcase, not your most conventional sentence that, the latter finds a photograph that is clearly dear to him, reading his mind to discover that she's called Leader Lestrange. Lestrange is obviously a member of the family that Bellatrix Lestrange later marries into, and was a close friend of Scamander's at Hogwarts. Presumably she was a Hufflepuff too, despite her family's later affiliation with Slytherin. David Yates has said that she will appear in the sequel, and is a confused and slightly broken figure, which presumably means she's going to be the key to setting off her family's journey into the dark arts. Number 2. The Kravitz cameo. The picture of Leader Lestrange reveals that she will be played by Zoe Kravitz, daughter of rock star Lenny Kravitz. Also, one background actor, Sean Cronin, he's the bald guy you see having his head stroked sexually in Narlex Speakeasy, actually appeared as a wizard in the Chamber of Secrets. Number 1. Johnny Depp. The end of the film confirms what was suspected in the last few days before release, that Johnny Depp appears as Gellert Grindelwald. Interestingly, there are a couple of links between Depp and other Wizarding World actors. First, he's playing Grindelwald, who was previously played by Jamie Campbell-Bower in The Deathly Hallows Part 1, and they appeared together in Sweeney Todd. And perhaps most intriguingly, this is the second time in which Depp and Farrell have played two versions of the same character. The same happened in the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, when both actors stepped in to fill in for Heath Ledger after his death. And that's our list. Are there any Easter eggs or references we missed off? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can even follow me here on Twitter if you fancy. I'm Ben from What Culture, and thanks for watching.